I'm so-and-so. I'm so-and-so. And we are so-and-so of RockCity. Oh, wait, was that on it? That was awesome. Welcome to Rock City. I'm Mark.
I'm Domino.
It's time for music news.
Awesome. So let's get started.
Okay. This week, DIO Disciples, they're Craig Goldie. He said that they are starting to make a live CD, which is pretty cool. And it's a tribute to Ronnie James Dio. The cool thing is that Wendy Dio gave the permission. So yes, it's okay. Nice. Ronnie would be honored. That's huge. That's a huge thing.
He's rock royalty by all means.
Yes. And I would have a problem with it, I think, if she didn't give the go-ahead, because otherwise you're making kind of a buck off his name.
Right, yeah.
But that was not the case, and all the band members were in Dio at one point in time. They are also going to go in and record 3 to 4 new studio songs, which... I'm kind of on the fence with that too, just because it's not Ronnie James Dio, so I'm not sure how they're going to go about doing that.
Right.
So I'm interested, and knowing they got the go ahead from Wendy, I'm kind of like, okay, cool, I'll give it a shot.
Seems like she's in a good place. Like I think she truly thinks that's going to be a great way to honor his legacy. I mean, because he really is a legacy.
He is. I mean, hands down. He was one of the most amazing singers, performers, frontmen, everything.
Stage presence was like none other.
Yeah, I mean, he had the audience in the palm of his hands.
Oh, dude,
literally,
totally.
It's just crazy. So I was happy to hear that. I was kind of on the fence about the studio stuff, but we'll see. I have an open mind about stuff, so give it a shot.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about Korn. They are they released a new single, and it's available for purchase digitally August 13th. So, I mean, this has happened recently. It's their 11th studio album.
That's so cool. Titled
The Paradigm Shift. And it's featuring the return of guitarist Head.
I'm so excited about this.
Which we haven't seen. We haven't heard him on an album since 2003.
Man, that's been a long time. It's amazing it's been that long.
It's been... 10 years?
10 years, yeah.
And my math is terrible, sorry guys. And they recently filmed a video for a song off of The Paradigm Shift called Love and Meth. And Brian Welch was on Instagram and said that the video shoot was a completely mind-blowing day. And it's awesome to hear him so excited about the music again.
I agree.
Which is, he's so talented.
He's
and it was
amazing.
sad when he had to take his break, and we all know what was going on, and it's bad. And I'm really happy to see that he's back, that the band welcomed him back, and they understanding of everything.
No bad blood. Yeah, so that was...
nothing. No burned bridges. And that's always good.
I think they probably realized his state of mind, that what he did, even though it was kind of like totally that direction, he needed to do that for himself.
Right. Everybody's got their own journey.
Yeah.
They have to take it on their own no matter what.
Exactly. So. And I met him when he came in. I had interviewed him, and he was such a really cool guy. And I wasn't really sure if I should bring up Korn, because he's on his book tour at the time.
You don't want to bring up a sore subject.
Yeah, but I wanted, of course, I had to have him sign something from Korn, because Korn. And so I had him sign... It was Follow the Leader, which is one of my favorite Korn albums. And he looked at it, he goes, wow, because this is one of my favorite from what we did.
Yeah.
And we talked about that for a while. So he was so cool. Stuff. He wasn't like, oh, I don't want to see that. Yeah, he was like, man, that's really cool. This was my favorite too. So many great songs. So that was awesome for me.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited to hear the new album. I heard the new single. It's different. It's cool. It's Korn, but they're kind of going. They're not just going back to their old sound. They're moving forward.
Are they adding? Because I remember they had a lot of like electronic type sounds on a previous album. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was recent.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not quite like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
it seemed like they kind of went like in a dubstep-ish.
That's what it was. It's nothing like that.
So they're not revisiting that at all.
I'm hoping that's one and done.
Okay.
So cool.
Right on then.
Good music news. All right. All right, time now for Record Roundtable, or as you want to call, or as you like to call it, and I like the new change.
Wrecktable.
Because it really is. It really is. We are going to do your review of Jane's Addiction and Alice in Chains, which happened a few weeks ago.
It did. There was actually Coheed and Cambria was actually playing, but I didn't make it in time to see them. Really wasn't interested in seeing them, to be completely honest. I've seen them in concert. They're great. But I really wanted to see Jane's Addiction and Alice in Chains. First of all, Perry Farrell is in amazing shape.
I bet.
He is super ripped. Like, he's got abs for days. It's sick. But the whole band, they had great energy. He was like being aloof and eccentric on stage, and
cool.
Super awesome. They did all the classics.
Mountain Song?
Yes, they did Mountain Song.
My favorite.
Yes. So I forget which song it was during, because like I said, it's been a couple weeks ago. My memory is nothing. They had two ladies doing full-on hook suspensions.
That must have been crazy.
For those of you that don't know what that is, these two ladies, brave ladies, had two hooks shoved in each side of their back, and then they got hoisted up by a chain, and then they swung around for the entirety of a song. And during that song, Perry Farrell pretty much got laid on stage.
Wow.
He's getting like all kinds of ass. It's not even funny. I actually got some decent footage of the girls doing the suspension, and the one girl was swinging a lot, and she was twisting and doing some contorting.
Really?
And all while there's meat hooks in her back. So I was like, I mad props to her, whoever you are.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Super awesome. And then at the end of the show, Alice in Chains went on, and they put on amazing show. Jerry Cantrell with short hair,
which is kind of odd.
It's a little hard.
We'll pretend that doesn't.
It's a little hard to deal with, because I'm a purist.
Yeah,
I like them the way they were.
Right.
It's I've been a long time Alice in Chains fan, and this is the first time I've seen them in concert. And sadly, I've never gotten to see the original band with Lane Staley. So that being said, it was still an amazing show. The new vocalist, the lead singer, is amazing.
William Duvall is, I think,
William
is his name.
Duvall.
Yeah, his voice is beautiful.
He has a beautiful voice. He does such a good job of paying tribute to Lane Staley by nailing his vocals, but he still has his own personality in the song.
Which I think is sometimes hard for singers to do, and I think you could tell on the last two albums that they did with William that he has his own voice.
He's got such big shoes to fill, and so
you
have to give him props. Like he really is nailing it. They couldn't have found anybody to do a better job, in my opinion.
That's so cool.
It really was, and I actually got some really good video of them doing Man in the Box.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
And you've never seen so many people standing up and like not even waiting till the end of the song to cheer, but just like.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that must have been a rush.
It was amazing. I had to sneak up a little bit closer than where I was. You have to.
You got to, yeah.
I'm at a rock and roll concert. I have to do something rebellious.
Exactly, yeah. That's the name of the game. That's why you go there.
So yeah, overall it was an amazing concert experience. Both bands were nothing but amazing.
Well, okay, now I hate to put you in this position, but I'm going to. So if you had to choose between Alice in Chains or Jane's Addiction, which one was your favorite of the show?
Oh my goodness, you're not really sorry for putting me in this position.
No.
I can tell.
You do the same for me.
As much as I love Alice in Chains, and I love their music, and I love so many of their songs, I would have to base it off performance and the stage show itself. So in that regard, Jane's Addiction has it.
Wow.
They had tons. I mean, it wasn't tons of stuff going on, but they accented each song that they performed. You know, they gave you an extra element to kind of bring the whole thing together and make it a full-on visual and audio experience.
A true rock show.
Exactly.
Not just a band singing, but a rock show.
And nothing against Alice in Chains by any means. They're fucking phenomenal. Like, I can't stress that enough. I actually still have the ticket in my purse.
Cool.
Like, it hasn't left. It was pretty awesome.
Good, awesome. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't have made the show. I was very disappointed. I think I had to work that night or something crazy stupid.
I had a $14 beer in your honor.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. That should last for a while to the next show. Well, cool. Well, next week we'll be doing another record roundtable. Who knows what's going to happen? This is Rock City Memories, brand new segment. We're going to start off from the very beginning. I'm a huge Kiss fan. That's what got me into rock. And the very first album I got was Rock and Roll Over, and I still have it right here, in glass on the wall. Not only that, but I had met Ace Frehley, and he signed my program. I met him back in 2008. I got to interview him and hang out with him. He signed it, put his little Ace signature on there, which I'm very, very proud of. And there we are together. A couple years later, after that, I met Gene Simmons. Kind of looks like we're on a date. We're not. But anyhow, I had got to meet him, and he signed one of my other favorite Kiss albums, Love Gun. And then also, you can't beat Kiss Dolls. There is, before this series, there was one other series, which I believe was back in the 70s. I got the second edition series when they first came out again on the reunion tour. And that is my Kiss lifeline. Time for rock and roll cinema. This is October. We're now in October.
Right.
We're heading up to
the home stretch.
Yes, for Halloween. My favorite time of the year.
The best time of the year.
That's right. Classic. I saw the theater about 3 times when it came out.
Nice.
Yeah, Lost Boys.
Lost Boys, like, by far the youngest I've ever seen Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, no kidding. I didn't even think about that. Probably one of his first movies.
Probably.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Because that was, I think, done in 85, 86, right around that time. I think it was 86.
I was 2.
Yeah. I was not 2.
But yeah, by far one of the best vampire movies.
Oh, yeah.
In like forever. And it's like a classic vampire flick.
It is. I mean, it has some great images in there too.
It really does. Lots and lots of good imagery and classic scenes.
Yeah.
Like that you remember forever.
Do you know where it was filmed? A little trivia?
You're gonna make me look like an idiot on the internet.
No. It's trivia.
Wow me.
It's Santa Cruz. They call it Santa Clara, but it was filmed on the pier on Santa Cruz.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not
And so my parents moved there. They moved to Santa Cruz like in the late 80s. I went to visit and made sure I went to the pier. Because this is where the Lost Boys were found. And they actually were there when it was being filmed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Double
that was
plus bonus.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, but the thing that I think we like about the movie is the soundtrack.
Phenomenal. And just the rock and roll overtones in there.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
So we've got NXS.
With Jimmy Barnes.
Sisters of Mercy.
Correct.
Which is the classic. Daltrey.
Roger Daltrey, who does an Elton John song, which is cool but bizarre.
Exactly. And then we've got the cover of People Are Strange.
By Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, covering
another classic.
Right at the Doors, and which is kind of funny because Jason Patrick, they made him look very much like Jim Morrison.
Yes.
And a nod to that. And there's one scene in there. This won't ruin the movie for anyone that hasn't seen it. And if you haven't seen it, then you shouldn't even be watching this. Yeah. It's crazy.
Stop watching this and go watch Lost Boys.
There's a picture of Jim Morrison when they're panning. Jimmy Gertz is in the cave, and they're panning over, and there's a picture of Jim Morrison.
I'm going to have to rewatch that.
Yeah.
Just so I can look for that specifically.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's just kind of, some foreshadowing in there.
Just a nice little throwback.
Yeah, neat. Yeah, it's, and there's, of course, some pretty cool, I don't want to say cameos, but appearances by Corey Haim.
Right.
And the other Corey Feldman. Diane Wiest is in there, who's an Academy Award winner.
Right.
There's obviously Kiefer Sutherland, and I'm drawing a blank in his name, but he was in Bill and Ted. He was not Keanu Reeves. Alex Winter.
Yeah.
He's one of the vampires.
For a minute, I was going to tell you Keanu Reeves was not in the Lost Boys.
No, he was not. He was a lost boy, but he was right.
But yeah, overall.
Yeah.
Horns all the way up.
Yes, two horns up. Lost Boys. See it. All right, time now for Rock and Roll DNA. This week will be kind of a fun subject. It is rock stars that you have met and I have met that are both kind of like, wow, this is like...
This is happening.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of take your breath away and like, oh, this is like kind of like a legend type thing. So mine is kind of cool. It's Eddie Van Halen. I kind of a cool story. I was working in San Luis Obispo in California, and I knew he was going to be in town for a golf tournament for a charity event. So me, the sports guy, and another guy in production, we grabbed some cameras. We went down at 10 in the morning to the, the clubhouse, where everyone kind of meets and has beers, either before or after golf. And we knew he was going to be there with Sterling Ball, who's Ernie Ball's son, because Ernie Ball guitar strings were made on the Central Coast. So our in was Sterling. So we got there at 10 in the morning, and Eddie was at the bar, and it was Eddie, Sterling, then there's like two chairs. Of course, I went right in between. I was sitting right next to Eddie. And they say, hey, you guys want some drinks? So Heineken now is one of my favorite beers ever, just because I had a Heineken with Eddie Van Halen at 10 in the morning. He had a Heineken, a Bloody Mary, and we kind of just sat there, talked about music. He had these really cool Vans on. They were given to him by the company. You know how they're the stripe of his guitar. Like, oh, that's really cool. And he goes, yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. And yeah, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So we talked about the craziest stuff. And then he went out and putted on the green and just kind of practiced and spent like about an hour and a half with him. And the cool thing is this is before I had really met a lot of stars and had them sign memorabilia. And so I had him sign my Van Halen 2 CD, but unfortunately I had him sign in blue ink on a blue cover. And so unless you're like looking at it, everybody can see
Just
it.
Right.
Get crazy, Mark. Thank you, Eddie. Well, I know it's there, and that's all that really matters. And just being in his presence, he's one of my favorite guitarists of all time. And we talked about Michael Anthony and about his writing on some of the albums. Talked about Sammy Hagar, because that was during, it was right after OU 812, right before For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. They were writing that in the studio at the time. Wolfie had not been born yet. Valerie was pregnant with Wolfie at the time. So that's kind of how long ago it was.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a true rock and roll experience. To this day, that was probably one of my favorite. And I was like, Eddie Van Halen. That was pretty cool.
So the only way that mine is going to beat yours is if I have two rock stars in my story. So mine goes back to my days at the clubhouse back when I was an entertainer. One of my first nights there, I had the experience of hitting Vinnie Paul in the face with his own door
That is great.
While he was carrying out an armload of liquor.
Wow.
So, the beginning of my night, I unintentionally assault Vinnie Paul. And just meeting Vinnie Paul is like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, that's
But then,
damn cool.
when you're worried that you've injured Vinnie Paul, it's a whole other level of, oh my god, dude. So, the end of my night, though, this was right after the Family Values tour.
Oh, okay.
So, I actually got to lap dance for LeJean Witherspoon.
Oh, from Sevendust.
From Sevendust.
Wow.
Actually hung out with the entire band, sat in most of their laps, shot the shit, did shots, got wasted,
Very
did some
cool.
lap dances, made fun of some strippers, you know, the huge when you're hanging out with rock stars. I actually
Nice.
saw quite a few people that night. We saw the guys from Korn.
Oh, cool. Wow.
We had several events there. I got to meet David Allan Coe.
Nice.
I got to meet the Hedgehog, Ron Jeremy.
That is classic.
Yes, who denied 3 times that he was Ron Jeremy before I was like, dude, seriously.
Right. Yeah, he's
I
very
can see everything
recognizable.
but your cock and know
Right.
that you're Ron Jeremy. But yeah, so that's my rock star story.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. I'm glad you didn't injure Vinnie permanently, though.
No, he was still in good health enough to do Hell Yeah and Rebel Meets Rebel. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Some great stories this week. All right, ready for rock and roll free for all this week. And this one, the subject kind of growing all the time, is bands that kind of lend their name to either a liquor product like Iron Maiden, Trooper Beer, and I think Bruce Dickinson and the band had some say on how the production was from Robinson's Brewery in England. But there's also some other ones, like there's a Warrant has a wine out. Surely it can't be cherry pie. And there's Motorhead has a wine and a beer. And I don't think you buy in the States yet. There is, what else have I seen? Well, obviously Vince Neil, he has a tequila.
Right.
Which kind of came on the heels of Sammy Hagar, because Sam is kind of the first one to kind of bring that whole thing to the, front. And Jimmy Buffett has his tequila and a rum now.
Right. I think doesn't Bill Murray have a tequila?
He might. Oh, Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd has a vodka, and I actually have the vodka. ZZ Top. What do they have, Sean?
Tequila.
And ZZ
Our
Top.
comments from the Peanut Gallery enlighten us about ZZ Top.
Tequila.
Okay, and ZZ Top has tequila, I guess.
Tequila.
All right. So there's quite a few bands that are going that direction. I think some are a little more legit than others.
Right.
I know with the Trooper Beer that Bruce is very, very adamant about having his name kind of attached to it. With Motorhead and Warrant and some of the other ones, I think, and AC/DC is another one. They have like a wine. And I think a lot of it is just like they give permission to slap their name on
Are our
as
classic
labels.
rock stars winos?
Yeah, exactly. I know, isn't that really metal and wine?
I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm beer I kind of get and whiskey and tequila, but it's like
Right, yeah. Like, sell me some stuff that you used to get drunk on.
right. Mad Dog 2020.
No.
No.
No one should ever consume that.
Ever. No, not if you're a rock star or anything.
No.
But what do you think about rock stars doing that? Do you think it's a sellout, or do you think it's cool?
I think if they have a legitimate product that they've either developed, helped develop, been in the loop on, like something that they actually believe in.
Like Sammy Hagar.
Well, yeah. Or Jimmy Buffett.
Right,
in
yes.
Margaritaville. Like,
Exactly.
If it's something, I guess, that you're planning on turning into your own brand, like, because let's face it, you can't be a rock star forever.
Right.
You have to make your money.
Right. I agree.
So I can't fault somebody for making
Right.
money, and like I said, if you believe in it, you're not just selling your name to a corporate,
I agree.
faceless corporation just to get a kickback, then yeah, I'd say fuck off, dude.
Right,
like, seriously,
right.
don't be a sellout.
Yeah.
But, if it's a legitimate business endeavor and you want to put your name on it and you want to be involved in every aspect of it, then by all means, dude, get
Right.
after it.
I think so too. As long as they're doing it with their heart.
Right.
And they're doing it, and they're also, they kind of have a quality control check on that too. And it's just not like, crap wine or crap tequila.
Yeah.
So, hey, here's my name on that. Go buy it for $1. As long as, like Sammy Hagar, Cabo Wabo, when he was a part of it, he's not part of it now. He sold all of his
Right.
for a lot of money.
A lot of money.
But when he was a part of that, he was very, very adamant about making sure it's quality control. And those bottles, like even a cheap bottle was like $45.
Yeah, it
the
wasn't
highest end was
cheap.
75.
But that stuff got you tanked.
Yeah, it was good stuff. And it tastes good straight. I don't like tequila straight. I can do that any day straight.
Oh yeah.
Same with Dan Aykroyd's vodka. That is like, I don't do vodka straight, but I will with his. And that is Skull vodka. It's in this clear skull crystal.
Pretty baller.
Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, that's kind of, I wanted to see what, especially what you thought about it and what you guys think. You know, tweet us and
give us your opinions.
Yeah, we want to know. Yeah.
This is Ryan Carroll.
And Ryan Ray from Atticane, and thanks for watching
Rock City.